Welcome back to Dirt North. It's episode 28, and today I'm joined by Jackson Gilbert from Roadside Civil. How are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Thank you for coming in.
No, thanks for having me.
And I'm here with Brad O'Shaughnessy from Earthmoving Downunder and IFilmIron. How are you, Brad?
Not bad. Two names there, mate.
Yeah,
Pretty
I know.
good.
Dual business owner, operator.
Dual wielding.
Yeah, dual wielding. And this is your second time on the show, new studio.
It is. It's pretty flashy. Too.
What's your initial impressions? You think you like this?
It's a bit bigger than the last one. A bit flash. Got a nice little entry there. And
Yeah.
logo over the front door.
Yeah, I've
and
never
everything.
seen the last one, but this is sick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dark theme. We're pretty happy with things, yeah. So, look, today we're talking all things civil, state of the market, having a crack in life.
Yeah.
And, mate, your background, you got put in touch with me via Brad, and looks can be deceiving, but you're a young pup.
Yeah. So just turned 24. And yeah, been in the earth moving game and seen pretty much everything now.
Yep.
But yeah, I love it, very passionate about it. And yeah.
You don't seem passionate. No, I'm joking.
No, honestly, it's sometimes I even think to myself, like, it is a hard game, and it's sometimes hard to be passionate about it, especially where it's gotten to. And I guess that's, I was saying to Brad on the way here, like, there's a lot of questions I have about the industry to some of the older guys. If it's always kind of been this way, and I guess we'll dive deeper into what I'm talking about there, but just where it's gone, the industry, I wonder if it's always been like this, or if it's just the times that have changed, I guess. So
You've had like a really exponential growth curve from what you've told me, and we will dive into all that stuff, but you've probably, I guess, aligned with the rapid growth of your business, you've also seen like a lot of change in the industry really quickly as well.
Yeah. So Roadside's been around for 6 years now, so we're going into our 6th year. And yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. Like from year 1 and 2 to now is completely different.
Yep. And I guess and Brad, yourself, like you've seen a lot of change. You used to operate equipment, then you sold equipment for multiple OEMs, and now you shoot equipment and run socials for people as well. And is that how you guys?
With equipment.
Yeah, with equipment. Is that how you guys know each other?
Yeah. So I actually met Brad. It would have been
When I was
early
RDO.
days.
Yeah, when I was
early
RDO.
days at John Deere.
Did you buy anything off him?
Nah. No, I didn't. Nah.
I hear that a bit.
We didn't call him back. I didn't want to sell him any of these John Deeres.
Well, look, the three of us are sitting down today because we're sort of all at opposite ends of the, I guess, triangle of the market. You being a civil, Brad working with the content and promotional piece, and myself overlapping into that as well with the marketing side of things. And I think it's probably worth just jumping in now and saying that we couldn't do the show without our sponsors. And today's episode is brought to you by our ongoing partner, Capital Equipment Sales. And we all know Will.
Yeah, no, good bloke, top bloke. He actually has a couple of my machines out at his place at the moment, looking at them. So I've known Will maybe 3 years, and he's really good. Always looked after us. So
I've known Brad introduced Will to me. I didn't realise Will had been a long-term fan of the show, and we've sort of developed a relationship now, and I'll just expect a call from Will every couple of days, just general life thoughts and things like that. He's a great bloke, and I've been out recently with Brad. So for those listening, Brad manages and runs all of Capital Equipment Sales content and socials, and Will tells me that you guys are getting great results at the moment with all of your work as well.
Yeah, well, they can't keep up at the moment, so
Yeah.
it's pretty good. The phone's going off the charts, so doing all their ads and everything like that. So
Yeah.
Will loves it. Got a new challenge for everyone now too, so you have to come out and take the new twin turbo buggy for a drive.
Yeah, I've seen you out there. You rolled it, didn't you?
Yeah, first 3
yeah,
minutes.
fuck, he doesn't know how to steer, mate.
Well, they're pretty easy to roll, and I had it in 4-wheel drive, and then everyone tells me,
I think they're dangerous.
you roll one backwards down a hill anyway.
Yeah. No, mine was different though. Mine was a, like the farm mules.
Yeah.
So we just bought a property and it was very hilly and stuff like that. And I was driving and I thought, fuck, man, I'm like crusty demon shit. I'm going to jump this thing. So I was by myself. I had a fuel pod in the back full of diesel, and I've sent it up this hill, and I got stuck, and I was like sitting there like this. So I was like, well, I can only go back. So I've gone back, and it just rolled, and the thing rolled about 10 times. I flew out of it, somehow didn't die, and got out of it pretty unscathed. I cut my knee open, and I just remember waking up on my feet watching the buggy roll down the hill 10 times. What could have been me.
So
I didn't have a seatbelt on either, so I actually think that saved me, to be honest.
Well, at Dirt and All, we do promote responsible use of agricultural and lifestyle equipment.
Yeah. Don't do what I did. I was a fucking idiot, but no, serious. But I guess you don't think. I wasn't thinking so.
So we won't give out at wheels on the buggy.
No.
then.
So
Probably not.
We'll
Probably
stick to bulldozers and trucks out there and
I
fixing
can't
your
really
truck.
drive one of them either. But
So if you are chasing good quality used equipment, get in touch with the Capital Equipment Sales team, and probably a good opportunity to remind you to like and subscribe to the episode if you're listening, and jump onto dirtandall.com. You can click through to Will's website from there, or you can follow at Capital Equipment Sales on wherever you...
You can watch all the action. Will with the ciggy in the mouth and
Will keeps it
working
real.
hard.
does he still smoke?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of his persona. There,
It's a
mate.
dying
I thought
art.
I thought he stopped for. He was on the vape. That's what he was when
No,
I.
he's on the. But no, definitely follow along. It's pretty exciting.
Well, look, guys, let's get into it. Let's get into the story. So, Jackson, how did you start? I know you left school relatively young. What happened there?
So I left school. I think it was start of grade 10, and I guess. I just walked in one day. It was never really my thing. Like I was never getting good grades or anything like that. And I just hated school. I just never wanted to be there. I guess I walked in one day, literally into the homeroom. And I said to my mate, I said, no, I'm done. And walked out, pretty much packed my bag. And the teacher was like, where are you going? And I just walked out. I said, no, I'm not doing this. Literally is what I said. Like I said, no, I'm done. Like this isn't for me. And I rang my mum. And obviously there was a little bit of talks beforehand. Like it wasn't just chucked on my parents like, no, I'm done, I'm finished. But I called my mum and I said, look, I'm definitely done. I'm going to go get a job. And pretty much the next day I think that was on a Thursday or Friday, the next Monday I was working in civil construction. So I was pretty much a labourer, started at the bottom and then kind of had a go in machines where I could, but majority of it was just labouring. It was for a family friend of ours, my older brother, who's actually part of Roadside now. He was a digger operator for them at the time, so that's kind of what got me that in there. That's kind of what happened and how it all started, the journey. So,
did you always want to own a business, or at that point was it just the pursuit of getting into the industry?
Yeah, no, I always knew that I was going to be my own boss. And like you speak to mum and dad, they always knew the same thing. I always had that passion for wanting to do my own thing. Like starting as a young kid, I had lawn mowing businesses and stuff like that. Like I was always trying to do something for myself. I always see myself as doing something. And I never knew what it was going to be. But I guess there is a big passion behind me and in the earth moving industry. I grew up around trucks, dozers, diggers. My old man had a big company on the Sunshine Coast of truck and dogs and stuff like that. So he had a lot of diggers. We grew up on like a farm where there was diggers, and like that's just what we grew up around. So I'm one of 3 boys, so I got 2 brothers, and we all just loved machines and stuff like that. Like I remember going back like just playing with machines in the sand pit and stuff like that. Like there was just a strong passion for it, and I guess for me, I always wanted to be like my dad. And like back in the day, when I was a kid, I thought he was a builder. I didn't even think it was. I don't know. I just had no idea. So I remember like I used to go to school in book week as a builder, like dressed up as a builder and stuff, because it was like, what do you want to be when you're older? And I was like, what my dad is.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where the passion started for it, and I definitely knew, this is I want to do something for myself, and I guess through my teenage years I didn't know what that was going to be. I've always been, into your IT and stuff, and, I've been pretty good around computers and stuff. So I guess I thought it might have been something around that industry. But then I guess it just was like, come to me in 2019 when Roadside started. And I was like, no, I'm passionate about this industry.
Yep.
And, Dad's always said, go for what you're passionate about, or, don't just chase the dollars, I guess. And yeah, I guess that's why I'm in earth moving now, because there ain't no fucking dollars in it.
What? So how did you guys meet? What was your first impression of Jackson?
We actually met when we were at RDO. He came in to look at some deers.
Yep.
Then so there's sort of the common ground, I guess, there. But then was it Tommy McDonald actually stirred you up to go and do some content, because I was doing some content for Tommy.
Yeah. But yeah, it all started at RDO. I think I was looking for a dozer.
Yeah.
And I went and looked at the 1050K.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Like, I remember, I've actually got a video of us sitting in it. I was revving it. I was like, fuck, this is sick.
I think he walked in with a flash pair of shoes. I'm like, who the fuck's this guy?
But that was when Roadside kind of just started, I guess. So yeah, we were looking to kind of buy a bit of gear. But yeah, it was Tom McDonald, I guess. We've always been big into the social media stuff. And I was speaking to Brad on the way here, like, I started with just my own drone, and looking back at it now compared to, what Brad does for us, it was so shit. Like, but no one really did it in our space.
Yeah.
Like when we started 6 years ago, I guess, you had the younger self of me, like, technology and everything. I knew how to work around it. Like this industry is very typically older boys, people that have been around the industry for a long time. So I guess having myself with that, technology and stuff, and bringing that into the game, and that was a big aspect of how we marketed our stuff, and a lot of work came through social media stuff, and still does. Like now, obviously, it's at a complete different level to what it was back in the day, but that's where it started.
When did things start? So like you've started the business, you guys are starting to grow. When did things really start taking off for you?
Pretty much straight away. Roadside actually, and it's a bit of a confusing name because people are like, Roadside, do you guys do roads or anything like that?
Traffic control.
And we don't, we're a plant hire company.
Yeah.
So even civil, we don't do our own civil projects. And we like to stay away from that because I guess that's our clients' bread and butter.
Yeah.
And we don't want to get in the mix of that. But pretty much straight away. So it actually started in mum and dad's spare room, and it was a pressure washing business. So it started off as Roadside Rejuvenation Solutions. And pretty much what the plan was there was to attack your councils and shires and stuff like that, and pressure wash like the curbs and all the parks and stuff like that to clean up. Like I remember driving around and I've always just looked at things and been like, there's a gap in the market there. And, like you drive and you still drive around like on the highways and stuff, and you look at some of the signage and it's all just gross looking, like it's got build up, and, that's where it started. I wanted to attack the councils and go and do pressure washing on those kind of things. But obviously big aspirations and, it takes time to get there. But it actually started as that, and I was pressure washing machines and stuff like that. So I was lucky enough through dad's contacts and stuff like that within the industry to be able to kind of score some contracts with cleaning machines. So a lot of people that were buying and selling equipment, they would get it in from overseas or whatever, and they would need weed and seeds and stuff done. So I went and got all those certifications and stuff like that. And I was making good money, man. Like I was 17, 18, and I was cleaning machines. And then one of my clients actually came to me because obviously I had a little bit of growing up around machines, knew how to operate them. So he came to me, he's like, man, I need you to jump on the crushing plant. So I was loading a crusher, and I did that for about a year. And then, I think it was the last day I was driving home, and I called my dad and I said, I want to go out on my own. I want to do my own earth moving thing. Plant hire is what I wanted to do. I thought, well, that's going to be the easiest way to get my foot in the door. And it wasn't easy at all, because then all the walls and the hardships come. Like I had no money. There was no capital there for me to jump into anything and be like, oh, I'm going to go buy brand new machines. So I actually went and dry hired a bit of equipment, and I jumped on it myself. And that's kind of how it all started. And I had a plan pretty much from day one. That whole Christmas holidays, I worked my ass off in my mum and dad's spare room, and we pretty much came up with a plan. Obviously, all I asked from dad, my old man, was just advice and, guide me through it. I've got the drive. I want to give it everything I've got. all I ask from you is just guide me, teach me from your mistakes in business, and just help me out in that way. No money come from them. You know, everyone gets that misconception. I think it's
people are calling out nepotism more than ever at the moment and saying, "Oh, you're just a nepo kid," and there's a huge difference between building on a platform that you have access to and actually passionate about, and then just being handed something.
I've seen there's an article about real estate, and everyone's carrying on about if your parents helped you out, it's becoming a thing.
But I guess it is because I've never had that, and but it's getting harder in Australia. If you don't have a leg up, like I don't have a kid yet, but when I do, I'll probably definitely start putting money away every week because who knows what the world's going to be like in 20 years.
Yeah, leg up would have been handy.
It's definitely gotten harder, but I think a lot of people have that misconception because they're just they don't believe in themselves enough to be able to be like, no, I can do this. And I think they think that everyone's got that view. But like I started literally no money. I think at the time, I sold, I had a D22 Navara at the time that I sold for 14 grand. Like that was my kiddie that I started with, but I just had that drive and I just wanted to be so great. I wanted to, provide for mum and dad. I wanted them to not have to work anymore. I wanted to just do the best I could in business. And I was like, I'm young. Why not give it a fucking go?
What's been harder, hiring people or buying machines?
Well, I guess now hiring people.
Yeah.
Because there's such a skill shortage.
Yep.
But back then, if you had asked me, buying machines. And I mean, it's a lot easier now, because the business has been running for 6 years and, good numbers and whatnot. But early days, it was a nightmare, man. Like, I hated it. I used to get off the phone to my broker and they'd be like, man, you're 20 years old. You got no property backing, none of that. No one's going to lend money to you. And I used to get so pissed off, man. I used to be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm trying to have a go and everyone's just trying to knock me down. Like, there was just obstacles after obstacles. And everyone in the business space, like in your guys' space, you would have had obstacles that you got to jump over. But there was just that was probably the biggest obstacle. So, yeah, obviously I had to dry hire machines and I operated them, and then my old man jumped in a dozer as well, so he helped out in that way too. Jumped in a dozer to really get things kicking off. And, yeah, I guess we had a plan. We wanted pretty much every month to put out one extra piece of gear, whether that be dry hire or wet hire. So I think we got to month 6 and we had 25 bits of gear out. So it jumped quick.
Yeah, yep.
So, yeah, I guess how quickly did it grow? Well, that's the answer to that. Within 6 months, we had 25 bits of equipment out. And, a lot of that was dry hired in and we were just jumping on it and getting a tiny little margin out of it. So, obviously, the bits of equipment that myself and my dad were in, well, they made us a bit more money where, we're the labour component. So,
yeah.
But, when you're putting someone else on a machine where you're paying a dry hire cost, your margins are very, very small and there's no room for error. So
when did you jump out of the machine? Like, do you still get in from time to time or you're completely off the tools?
Not really anymore, just because I've got so much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
But, like if Adele, she's our plant coordinator, so she pretty much organises everything where people need to be, stuff like that. If she comes to me and she goes, fuck, I've had 2 people call in sick, I need you to go and jump in a machine. I'll go and jump in.
Do you still love it?
Good question. I love it because that's,
That's why you start, I guess, in a way.
I think I'm more attached to it than love it, to be honest. My love for the game has definitely softened a lot, which is sad. But, I think that comes down to some of the stuff that, I've been through in the industry. And it's not so much the industry itself. It's just what's come of the industry that I guess has softened my love for it.
Is that just the straight competitive nature of the industry now? Like, what can you give me a bit more info on that?
Yeah. Look, it is a very competitive market, but it was when I started. So I never, I never shy away from challenge or anything like that. So I wouldn't say it's so much that. I think the people in this industry, and I guess that's a question that I have for the older blokes, where it comes down to is, has it always been like this? To put it quite simply, I feel like a lot of people have got so comfortable without being punched in the face for doing wrong. And
I think everyone in life should be punched in the face once.
Well, it's not, yeah, but it's not even in that way. But there's just, I've got a set of morals that I abide by, and nothing will come in the way of that. And that's just how I've been raised. Loyalty is such a huge thing for me. Honor, and I think that lacks so much in this industry, especially the plant hire space. Obviously, I can't speak for the civil works and stuff like that, because we don't specialize in that. We do plant hire. That's what we do. And it's always, it's a very toxic industry because, you try to work with people and it's kind of, well, no, fuck you, you're taking my bread and butter. So it automatically causes a clash. But
do you feel like, sorry to cut you off, but do you feel like once, like we talk about repeatedly on this show, like South East Queensland's growth boom, but do you feel like we're just on the precipice of like all these next stage projects being unlocked, like the Olympics and everything everyone keeps talking about is coming? Do you think that will soften that problem because there will be more work, or do you think it will just...
I don't. I think if anything, it's actually gotten worse, and I don't know the reason behind that. But I think I actually do think it's gotten worse in the last 2 years. Like if you go back, obviously I've been doing it 6 years now. If you go back, when I started, I think it was a bit more collaborative, I guess is the word. Everyone still worked together a little bit. I don't think anyone wants to work together anymore. And that, whether that be by, adjusting rates or anything like that to make things work. And you have a lot of new players coming in too. So you've got a lot of people that have seen, people like me, build something so huge in such a short period of time and just automatically thought that's so easy. Yeah. If he can do it, he's fucking 24 years old. If he can do it, I'm going to do it. And that's not the case. It's, and a lot of these new people are coming in and they're putting things out for stupid rates. And I just don't know how it's viable. Because I was once in that spot where, you didn't look at rates as much as you should. And I mean, that's your livelihood. And people are just going out and, fucking the market, I guess, and making
it's getting very tight.
Would you rather run a $2 million business with great profit or a $20 million business with no lifestyle?
Another good question. I guess it comes down to sacrifice, really, and life's all about sacrifice, whatever period of life you're in. I made the sacrifice when I was 18, 19 to start this. And my sacrifice was, I didn't have much livelihood. Everything was work. And I guess that's why I've grown Roadside into what it is, because all it was to me was work. I didn't have your typical 18, 19-year-old going out to the clubs and having parties and stuff. Like the first time I ever went to a club, I think I was 22 or 21.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah, but I guess it just comes down to the sacrifices, I guess.
Yeah.
And you got to be willing to make sacrifices, and that, traveling as well. Like I haven't been overseas. I didn't go on my a holiday until the end of last year, since I started. So my first holiday was, end of last year, after 5 years of operation. And I guess that's another sacrifice, A lot of my mates were going to Bali and stuff like that. Like they were sacrificing, I guess, what I'm doing to go and, live it up and have that livelihood. But so I guess it's different to everyone.
I think so too. And I think like one thing, I've talked about this on here before, and you can attest to this as well. Like when I was younger, I thought I worked hard and I didn't. And it wasn't until I took on a lot of responsibility where I was forced to work hard. And I looked back at that period and thought I wasn't doing anything. But and you're in that phase now with the growth of your business where you're doing silly hours and working all weekend.
Yeah.
You've got to do it.
It seems a sort of, I guess, roundabout way of saying it. Like before you were busy, like when you were younger and stuff like that, you were stressed about thinking you want to have money and do all this stuff, have a business. Now you sort of got that stuff. And I think it's even more stressful than...
It is. We were just...
working hard is even more stressful, I think.
We were just having this chat. So I'm 40 in this month, and I was working way too hard. Like there's working hard and there's sort of like killing yourself. And I had a surgery a month ago. It was a massive wake-up call for me to realise like what's actually healthy. And I do see older guys that I look up to in whatever their business is that touches on the industry. And I see people that I think have got it made in terms of work-life balance, and they put in the sacrifice where it mattered, but now they're looking after themselves and their family. But then I see people that are just on a one-way ticket to kill themselves through unhealthy lifestyle. We've had a couple of people in here recently, like Benny Hennant's one, who is a unique human. Like he has just, as a pro sportsman who's now in business, he probably is tuned to work a little bit harder than other people in certain regards. But look, personally, my view is that like you got to enjoy the ride as well.
Yeah.
You got to put in the work beforehand to get to that point as well.
And I guess I look at it like, for me personally, I've enjoyed every minute of it. You know, when I've been fucked over, or when I've had those hard times, or when I'm sitting there and thinking, "Fuck, how am I going to pay wages this week?" I've enjoyed all of that, and it's shaped me into who I am now, I guess. But I guess to answer that question of, would I rather have a company at, turning over 2 million and great profit, I think is what you said, or 20 million and no livelihood. For me, I guess it's my plan is do the hard yards now, miss out on some of those, good things in life, traveling, and, if people like partying or whatever. Like I've never been a big partier or anything like that, but I guess, for me, it's probably right now, have no livelihood and just work like fuck.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely, what helps shape that is because so many people my age aren't willing to do that. And I'm willing to just outwork everyone. And, it's made it kind of easier. And now is such an easy time to be successful in a way. We have so many extra tools and stuff like that we can use to benefit us in business. And I think it's just a way that it's like, why not take advantage of that? Like work your ass off now, especially if you're young. And if you want to do something, go and do it. Like have a crack, If, I don't know, some people need to hear that. Just have a crack. Like people are so scared of just going out and having a crack, and, worst case, you can go back to being, whatever you were doing.
Yeah.
I ain't going back to digging holes, mate.
Yeah, literally. Like, I don't know. I was willing to take that risk. I was over filling up sandbags and fucking being in the trenches, So if you, just.
Well, what starts to happen, and I can vouch for this, is your body starts falling apart too when you get to this age. Like I walk down the stairs and my knees are cracking and things like that. You can't be doing it for too long.
Yeah, fuck me too.
I'm not a finely tuned athlete. There's obviously blokes out there that are in their 60s that are still performing at peak physical function. But I've always said, like, if it all turned to shit, I could just go and start a mowing business. Mowing's not too bad, but when you just start to get into
start pushing that mower for that long grass, mate.
Yeah, true. Text, there's a business idea for anyone listening. Just buy a fleet of autonomous mowers and you just deploy them, and then you kick back in your car.
Well, that's I guess what I was getting at. Everything is autonomous now. You can, like, so many
Even
opportunities.
operators.
Yeah.
Then you circle back to the age old.
Yeah, they're going to get replaced soon, yeah.
Then you circle back to like what we're talking about though, like where you're going to find someone that's going to finance a fleet of autonomous mowers. They're not like going to get the Masport president down at the mower shop. I'd imagine there's a bit of a cost involved with the fleet of autonomous mowers.
Be a bit of
few
liabilities and stuff attached to it as well.
Segueing into technology, we've got an audience question that's come through here, and I think just to sort of put a bit of a lid on that last part, which we can come back to as well. Audience question: is it true that running a business makes you go bald?
Fucking oath. Well, I had a full head of hair, and like my mate's going to count for it. Like I actually had a full head of hair. I think it was 2024 that I lost all my hair.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck.
You still got a little bit there though, mate.
Yeah. Oh no, I was like, honestly, I did have hair.
I can see a few greys coming through there.
I got a few on my side.
The problem with mine was I just went thin as fuck.
Yeah.
Like my hairline was sweet. It was just I went thin as fuck, and it was through a bit of a shitty period where I just you know, in business where it was tough and, you know, I had to battle through, and, you know, that's definitely what did it to me. But yeah, having a business, yeah.
So you would have been no good under a strobe light with that thin air.
Nah.
I started to go.
And this is a message to everyone. Some people just need to let it go.
Yeah.
Let the fucking hair go, man, because it's
Reese has got a good flock of hair over there.
Reese does have a great flock of hair.
He's
It's like
lucky.
Fabio.
He's
We
lucky.
I don't have a lot going for me physiologically, but the hair had always been at one of the stronger points. But when we did this office fit out, I started going grey through my beard.
You started going grey.
In the beard, but I've got blonde hair. If you're watching this show, you'll see me in a hat for the next 6 to 9 months because I'm growing it out, and it looks like shit. I was getting the 10 to 14 day skin fade, but I'm a hat guy now for the rest of this year.
You should try cutting the floor out and see how it goes.
Well, that'll make you lose your hair too, wearing a hat all the time.
Yeah, no, you got to like let it breathe. Just when the cameras are rolling. But yeah, you've made a comment. So Brad was integral in the fit out of this space when upstairs. So we're sitting under a new mezzanine, but the old mezzanine we ripped out. It was checker plate steel floor. I asked Brad to come in and bring the FPV drone in just to get a bit behind the scenes content of the
you bring your
build, just for
camera
our personal use. And then he
Can you do a video for me?
ended up on a demo saw for like
2
the
days?
next 2 days, cutting out, dropping steel and just iron filings all through.
Cut the whole roof out. I forgot that I don't know how to use a demo saw. He's like, do you know how to use one of these? I'm like, I think so. But I used to use one nearly every day on the rail because I was an offsider for a welder.
Cutting
And I
that
just grabbed
rail
it.
track.
Well, because you used to have to cut and shut the rail all the time.
Yeah.
So we used to do a lot of it. And I forgot about that because that's 10, 12 years ago.
Was that with ARTC?
ARTC and Downer, EDI, but ARTC brought Downer out.
Hmm.
But yes, it turns out I can use a demo saw and spent 2 days here cutting the roof out with
I don't even know what
one
the
of
fuck
Ryan's
a
good
demo
childhood
saw
friends.
is.
And to this day, I'm eternally grateful, Brad, because I couldn't have done it. I'm not too good on the big. I can do a drill and a few little things like that, but
It wasn't that bad. It was just because we were inside and the metal shavings, because it was hot, it was in summer, they were all sticking to you. So they made you itch. So all these welts all over me. So I'm really scratching now thinking of it.
and we'll move into a pretty tight timeline here as well. We from demo to full fit out was 5 weeks. So thank you, mate. I'm going to formally go on record here and thank you for your efforts.
So it was just some tough going.
Mm.
It brought me back down to my roots, mate. So leveled headed me for a bit.
So we've got a segment on the show called Tech Talk, and we had a quick chat before this, and you're very tech focused. And Tech Talk's brought to you by TFO Software, previously known as the Fleet Office. So if you listen to the show, you've heard us speak about the Fleet Office before, but they're just about to rebrand. It's out on August 13th is the launch date. So this episode, we might have to hold this off until then, or this might be a nice little preempt to the rebrand, but includes a new name, new branding, refreshed identity that better reflects where the business is going. Fleet Office is an all-in-one fleet and asset management platform built specifically for businesses that operate heavy equipment, trucks, and mobile plant. And it's a telematics-based software, helps optimize your service and maintenance, manage inspections, defects, and compliance, track your assets and equipment. So they bring this segment to us. We're really thankful for the support of the show. Jackson, what's one piece of technology or software that's genuinely made running roadside civil easier over the last few years?
I've actually been surprisingly pretty old school with everything. So, like our dockets are still paper dockets, and we're just starting to transition into our own little app and portal that I've actually started making, which I guess we're a little bit late to the party. But
do you have OCR in there, like the optical character recognition to scan, or no?
Nah.
There's an idea for you.
There you go. Yeah.
We use
it. Pen that down.
We use a plugin called Dext, and you'd be able to get an API for that. You just take the photo.
So I think we use that for Xero.
Yeah.
Dext. We use that for invoicing and stuff.
And Dext, if you're listening, it keeps logging me out. I'm not happy with it at the moment. There's a few lost receipt reconciliations going on there, but it does make a huge difference for something that's annoying.
I guess technology's changed our game a lot, just in little ways, like even Xero, even Creditor Watch, being able to see, that's a huge one, being able to see where your client's at and being able to go, okay, do I want to put this much risk into them, and do I want to, do the work for them at the hopes that I'm going to get paid? What are their credit scores like, and have they got some positive feedback there from other, suppliers? So that's a huge thing probably, creditor watch and stuff like that, being able to see who you're working for, and I guess making sure that you're going to get paid, because that was such a huge thing in our industry.
Yeah.
And I know that the civil guys are going to be the same. They know, the earth moving developers and builders are always prone for going broke, and we never get paid. So
we know full well, like Brad and I being downstream of that, when you guys don't get paid, we don't get paid.
It's
and
a domino effect.
Yeah.
It's and it's sometimes completely out of people's control, but I guess having tech and having things like creditor watch or whatever it is, there's that many tools you can use, but yeah, that's definitely been a big game changer, I guess.
Yeah.
From, obviously my old man, he being in the civil game and stuff like that, he got done a lot of times back in the day just because he didn't know who he was working for. You take him off, face value. And I guess that's changed the game a lot. Now you can really see who you're working for and, protect yourself a little bit to make sure, or just have a risk assessment there to be like, okay, yeah, these guys are, well known for paying on 30 days. It's not going to affect us. Let's give it.
It would have been pretty wild back in the day without that access of data. Like how much we rely on it now, being able to see what's going on, and like thinking back to when everything was just written on.
That's when blokes would wake up and there's a D8 parked across their driveway and they're not going.
Yeah, literally. Well, I don't know. I feel like back then people got punched in the mouth for that shit.
Yeah. And my old man used to
maybe that was
shoot up engine blocks.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just
cube in the fuel tank.
44 Magnum rifle straight through the engine block. That's what he said he did anyway.
Well, mate, you visit contractors all over Australia. You got a very expansive teledex. What do you think? What tech do you see your customers using that's probably the handiest bit of gear that people have in place to manage their businesses?
Shit. But to be honest, I was actually looking at Jackson's app here in the way and having a look how it signs everyone in and lets the office know and all that. I thought that was pretty handy. I don't see too much tech that the guys are using or have much hands-on stuff. And mostly only dealers, I guess, for the telematics sort of stuff. It's really the only sort of stuff that I see, whether like run times where people work, and everyone knows how the telematics work, how much diesel they burn for the day or how much fuel they got. Like some of that stuff's pretty handy for, I guess, the operators could see at home if they check it, the operators that might not check it.
Yeah.
It's a different story.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see too much of the tech, I guess, they use. It's still usually the GPS and rovers and stuff that I see that people are running around with. I get drones coming.
Well, I guess that's another thing in our industry, the GPS and stuff like that. That's changed the game hugely.
Well, I see, like, I remember going back to like the Build Expo in Sydney like a decade ago and seeing, when you go to a trade show and you see the booth that people have invested a heap of money in, it's like hyper branded, but then you got the guys that are starting out and it's like the standard little space. And I saw Propeller, and now where Propeller are at now with their suite of software and drone-based tech is amazing to see that growth trajectory that business is on. And I hear people talking about them a lot more now as well.
I haven't seen it. But yeah.
From the machine perspective, like if you were to start again tomorrow and buy one machine, what's the one bit of equipment-based tech that you couldn't do it without from your perspective as a dry hire civil business?
Yeah. I don't really know, to be honest. Probably as a wet and dry hire, GPS. Yeah. It has to have GPS. Like you have a client come to you, like there's no point in asking, do you need it with GPS? They want it with GPS. Like, so I guess that's the one piece of technology that you need. Yeah. Even, you can go on and explain, we can do it this way. They don't care. You got engineers that, have just come out of uni and they just hear GPS and it's like, yeah, we need GPS. So, like you go back, like my old man, he's got no idea about GPS. Like it was all string line shit and, like the old school way. And he did plenty of jobs without GPS. Like it's definitely doable. I guess it just makes it easier. But it's also making it harder because it's just an extra thing for people to learn, like operators to learn. And we're already at such a skill shortage and, people don't even know how to drive the machine, let alone use a fucking auto GPS fucking whatever, you know. So, definitely GPS.
Yep.
That's like such a huge thing in our space.
It's pretty complicated looking shit though. The old GPS. Have you used GPS?
Yeah, it is.
No, except for on my phone, Waze to get from A to B.
No, I wasn't a GPS person.
Yeah, no, neither. I still don't. Like, I look at it, man. Like, some of my operators, they're fucking gurus at it, man. Like, they look at it and they'll be like, here, this is where the fucking mall is. And
Literally lines and numbers. And it's just,
some of them have gotten pretty fucking technical. Like, you can literally see, like, everything. You know, like, it's pretty crazy.
Like all the topography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty crazy, some of the systems.
Earthwork stuff's pretty advanced.
Yeah, I think it's, all that stuff.
Well, look, you're a techie guy, and this has been a techie conversation, and I just want to thank TFO Software, formerly known as the Fleet Office again, Jim Lee and the team for being fans of the show and bringing the show to you guys listening and watching at home. The industry, how busy are you guys right now?
Right now, South East Queensland's booming. Like, it's going absolutely bonkers. You know, if you go back...
Don't say that too loud. We're all over Australia.
I think the word's out, Brad.
Yeah, no, the word's
I think
been
the
out
word's
for a
out on
while.
the street.
But, like, at the same time, I guess it's all different. Like, your subdivisions are going off their head right now because you got so many people moving up here. And you have for the last 2-3 years. But it has its lulls. Like, it goes like this all through the year. I always find in the last 6 years, this time, July, is always been our biggest period. I don't know why.
Well, people have got new financial year budgets ready to go.
Yeah, I guess.
Well.
Yeah. So you got July, but even coming up to the end of financial, like you're always busy. It's kind of June, July, August is always kind of our busiest period. January's shit. December's a write-off. You may as well, you know, fucking start throwing $100 bills out the window in December. And January's pretty similar, obviously with the Christmas period. But yeah, right now we're very busy. You know, our busiest period ever was this time last year, where I think we were running close to 80 bits of equipment and operators. So
I don't know if it was just the way the world changed last year and the current government and the economy, but I found in my business, like we probably have a similar, you know, when you watch the footy, they got the momentum tracker.
Yeah.
If you looked at our momentum tracker, by like second week of Jan, the phone would start ringing. We're back. But then this year there was like nothing through to like Australia Day, but then ConExpo really put a dent in that. I felt like a lot of my key clients, like December, January was just quiet. And then after Australia Day weekend, like Anzac Day, it just cranked. And then you sort of hit this plateau and then people's budgets are exhausted, dipping into end of financial year. And then it's peaked up again. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the end of this year. Like if people start to slow well and truly through November, I don't know. I just felt like everyone was so exhausted last year. People just went, we're done for the year.
I don't know. That's me every year. But
I
think... every year, I think for us, like December, January's always been shit.
Yep.
Like it's always, and then you got the mix of rain as well, and that obviously is a huge factor in our industry.
Do you are you finding more people are pricing work just to keep the machines going?
Yeah, and that's going to bite them in the ass.
If you've got a heap of, like a lot of assets and liabilities and you need to keep things going, like obviously people need to do that. But I think that's where you probably need to take a look at your overall business model and say like, is this the best way forward?
Yeah. And I guess where does that end? Where does it come to people's, like when do people realize why am I even doing it?
Yeah.
People are literally pricing just to keep shit moving.
Yeah.
And I actually had, a meeting with the team last week and we went through this and, people, how they're operating, especially in the plant hire space, how they're coming up with their costs, I would love to know because it's just not viable. And I can tell you right now, it's not viable with some of the people.
Just a race to the bottom.
Yeah. And look, obviously I don't, it's a very hush where, no one tells each other, this is what I put out my machine for. I mean, we are on the more expensive side, and I've always said that. Like, it's simple. If you want our gear, you can have it. We we deliver. And, you go back to our busiest period last year where I think we really started engaging Brad, and we had a big job out at Ripley. I think we had like 48 pieces of equipment on that one job. That was Ripley.
Yeah.
But like, we delivered, and it wasn't just we delivered the whole package. So they pretty much came to us through word of mouth. It was actually a client of ours that we were already doing work through, and they pretty much came to us and said, look, we've heard you guys know how to move dirt, and we pretty much did like the whole bulk earthworks component of it, and we had a dedicated team out there, like a pretty much an operations manager looking after our complete team. So it wasn't just here's your plan, here's your operator, best of luck to yous. We had a full-time diesel fitter out there, so any maintenance or anything like that we were on top of, and I guess that's where a bit more of the cost comes from. It's not just, here's your fucking operator, here's your machine. But that's all stuff that's got to be calculated into the cost. And that job was done, ahead of schedule and done properly, from the get-go. And there was a few other subbies out there, that contributed to that too. But yeah, I guess it very much is just everyone trying to battle against each other and go, oh, well, you're putting it out for that. Or someone will find out, that you're putting it out for that. They'll go and take $10 off it or something like that, or $5 off it. And it works out to be $50 a day or, $100 a day, which is fuck all. But the client automatically sees it. Like I said, you've got a lot of these engineers and stuff they're the ones acquiring the gear, and they're just looking at it, well, I'm saving money, and to my boss, I'm going to look like the man. But then they end up doing the job 3 times, or they've got an operator that takes 10 times as long, or they have a shit piece of gear that ends up sitting there for 3 weeks, parked up because it's fucked.
Yeah.
So, and then it comes to it, and the person that's put it out for that rate is doing their fucking ass. Like, they are not making money, and I guarantee it. So I guess, a lot of people in the plant hire industry, they really need to have a look at what they're, I think they just need to have a look into a few things and see, what they're doing, and not that they're also affecting the industry in a way too, because then that sets a benchmark. And it fucks it for us, like our rates have not moved since I started 6 years ago. As in our charge out rate. But everything else has moved. You've got your operators now that, that's moving every single year. It's jumping your operator rate. What you're paying operators now is next level. You got your fuel that's, going through the roof. We're going through it right now. And it's kind of like you got to kind of just zip your mouth, because otherwise the client's just going to go, all right, take your gear and fuck off.
There's some hefty rates out there.
Well, we obviously work within the industry, but in a different way. Like when I started this business, we've been going for 7 years now, and we held our rates for like 4 years. But we revisit our rates every 6 months now, just because like the amount of software that we use.
Yeah. Well, you have to as well.
Every month I get an email from Adobe or somebody, and their rates have gone up. And then if you combine that with
everything
the overall
goes up.
cost of living.
People, the most common thing I see in the plant hire industry is people are looking at their rates. They're not considering all the little hidden costs, that it costs you. So for me, example, we got admin, we got an office rent, we got all these little things that combine into it. In the end, are you going to get more from us than what you will an owner operator, where their rate's going to be a bit lower, most likely, because they don't have the overheads? Well, yeah, you will. Go back to, 12 months ago. This is what we specialize in. We have a complete team that will, help you manage the project, especially if you get a large amount of machines or something. We put a dedicated team out there. And that job ran so smooth. I always go back to that, because that was probably a benchmark job for us, where, our team worked their fucking ass off. And
trucks out there.
Yeah. And, I guess your team's everything too. We got a fucking good team, and I back my team through everything, the GM to the plant coordinator, the operations, to the accounts, to the admin team, to our operators. I'll back them through anything, and even sometimes right or wrong. And I think that's the other thing. You got to be able to back your team. You're probably the same. They're like a family to me. And
can you teach? You've obviously got your vision and your values and your mission statement. Can you teach attitude? Is that where is the interview phase where you identify that? Like, how do you go about building your team?
Yeah, I guess, look, a lot of our really good team, they've been with us from the start. And we have a few very loyal people, and a lot of our team have been with us for, 3 years plus. So, yeah, I guess when I first started, it was very willy-nilly, and I paid for it. I was more so just looking at, I need to get some fucking numbers out. I've got this plan of, I need to get a machine out, this many machines out per month. And I was very much just bull at a gate, let's get this bit of gear out. I don't care who I hire. It's a lot more refined now, because it bit me in the ass.
How do you balance that with the skills shortage at the moment? Like,
it's
you
very
still keep
hard.
your standards up?
It's very hard, but like I said, I guess our crew is mostly people that have been with us for a long time. So their loyalty is there to us, and they get looked after in that way too. I've had some pretty fucked up shit happen to me, but in the last 6 years where disloyal people or whatever, and I've had some of those operators that have jumped ship because they hear something or they don't come to me or whatever, and then I've had people that just stay loyal and they get looked after. I think, for me, loyalty is just such a big thing.
Yeah.
So if you're loyal, you get rewarded for it.
There's a lot of things about running a business you don't understand until you run a business. What do you think is something that operators don't understand about running a business?
Yeah, good question. So straight away, because I was an operator and I know straight away. So for some reason, when I was an operator, you'll automatically think the boss man that's driving around in the fucking cruiser or the Ram or whatever, you're thinking, fuck this cunt. He's sitting on a fucking pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. He's just sitting here cashing his checks while I'm out here working my fucking ass off. I'm sorry, but I work bigger hours than any of my fucking operators. Yes, and I fucking love my operators. I would not be where I am without them, and I understand that to a fact. But I think there's a misconception, and it's not my operators because we've got a very tight crew, but I think a lot of operators have that understanding, and I know they do because I was an operator and I was in that position. You automatically think that your boss is just sitting there cashing checks and they're doing fuck all. They're just sitting there. You're working your ass off, 10 hours a day in this fucking aircon cab. You just automatically have that, I guess, just that feeling of fuck you. Like this boss is just you just automatically think it, that, your boss is just a fuckwit.
But even better now, they can post anonymously on Facebook about you.
Yeah.
In anonymous Facebook groups. So.
Yeah, that's yeah. But that comes back to as well, like how easy is it to say shit and not get punched in the mouth for it?
Yeah.
It's like Mike
seriously,
Tyson
that's even made it worse. People still used to talk shit, but at least you could know who they were. Like now, yeah.
So you've obviously grown like a fair size operation now. Some people like to talk about it, some people don't. Like, how big is your fleet?
I guess every week it changes. I guess in the dry hire and wet hire game, it's always fluctuating. So like at the moment, I think we're running about 60 to 65 bits of equipment on jobs. But so my business model is very much on, I hire in a lot of gear still. So obviously going back to when I started, I couldn't get finance on any equipment, anything like that. No one would even look at me. So obviously I had to hire in a bit of equipment. I guess that I ended up adopting that business model. And the reason why I did it was because obviously when we're not governed by a contract or anything like that. So we're literally governed by, when the work finishes, you get rang, a day before, sometimes within the hour. Okay, your machine's finished.
We're done.
Arrange a float to get it out of you. So I guess by owning 100% of the fleet, it's just not a viable area to sit in because, you know, if I had 62 pieces of equipment and, you know, I have a job like, you know, Ripley last year where 40 something is on there and then all of a sudden that all comes to an end, that's more than 50% of your fleet parked up. So I adopted that early and I knew that's what I was going to do. Some people, you know, say, oh, fuck it, they don't own their gear, whatever. Well, you know, try and do it. If you can go and buy, you know, 60 pieces of equipment and keep it going year round, go your fucking hardest. But I'm not willing to take that risk.
Yeah.
And that's because we're at the vice of our, you know, clients. And look, we have a lot of good clients that are loyal to us and, you know, give us a bit of a heads up. You know, they'll let us know, okay, you've got a D8 dozer here. It's going to be finishing up probably in the next 2 weeks. So we can actively get out there and be like, look, we got a D8 dozer coming available. So it doesn't go back to our yard and just sit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reality of our industry is we're at the vice of our clients and they don't need to, there's no contract there. And I guess that's why, you know, contractors use it. They're very, you know, they can do what they want.
Well, they need to be able to switch off and on, you know, aligned with their project.
Exactly. Yeah.
Success.
So,
what's your fleet made of predominantly?
Yeah. So we're big in like the Moxie space, but we pretty much have anything from, you know, D2 dozers through to D10s, and then Moxies, you know, from your 30s to 40s, 45s, and obviously you can get anything. And I mean, it's more so the operators in our crew that, you know, are the standout because you can get whatever gear you want, and you know we can make it work. You know, if we can get a gear, if I can get a Moxie from Brad, you know, and he hires it to me for, you know, $90 an hour, and I can make, you know, sometimes it's only, you know, 10, you know, $15 an hour off it. But if we can make it work, that's when we make it work. So that's why we hire equipment in. So pretty much everything, dozers, diggers, we stay away from the specialised equipment, like your long reach and stuff like that. Like it's just not our niche, I guess. We just do a lot of the bigger stuff, as in, you know, big dozers, big diggers, Moxies, graders. I don't, you know, there's definitely people out there that specialise more in graders than us. But, you know, if a client comes along and says, you know, we need a 140, we got an operator available, like we'll do it. But yeah, pretty much a lot of the bulk earthwork machinery, your bigger stuff is what we kind of specialise in. So it's a mix of those 62 bits of equipment, or, you know, 60, I think it's 63 or something. Yeah, it varies between Moxies and diggers and, yeah.
Meeting the client's needs.
Yeah. It's one of those things that's hard and it's per client. Every client's needs are going to be different. Some are okay with having a piece of shit at gear parked up, you know, every 2 days. And I guess that's where we just, we don't, and paying a less rate. So a lot of people just look at it rate wise. They don't care what equipment they get. They don't care if, you know, they'll complain when they get a shit operator, but they don't want to pay for a good one.
What I've seen your socials, a lot of cat gear.
Mm-hmm.
Are you predominantly built on cat?
Yes and no. I mean, they're my personal favourite.
Not John Deere?
No John Deere's.
We don't.
Didn't sneak it in there.
Yeah, we don't have any John Deere's, but yeah, majority Cat and Komatsu is what we run.
Yep.
So like a lot of our dump trucks are Komatsu HM400s, and we got a few Volvos as well. They're my pick for Moxies personally. Volvos I think are just a better truck.
Not going to try the new Sunnies?
I haven't even looked at them.
You haven't dabbled in the Chinese space?
No, but I'm also not against the idea. The problem is your operators are picky.
Yeah.
That's the only problem I see arising from it. But like in our space, I mean, that's because it's such a competitive market and so tight. I think it's, people need to, start using those cheaper machines. At the end of the day, they do the same thing. It's just going to be a difference of, sitting in the cab. It might not have all your fancy fucking, ball warmers and stuff. But
well, coming from obviously selling them and stuff like that, I'd have customers come in on recommendation of their operators, like, oh, this is what my operator wants, and if I don't buy that, I'm not going to get this operator. So, like talking about the Sani, I guess that's a bit of a hurdle. But it's the operator that usually chooses the machine.
That's the biggest issue I see arising from it.
Yeah.
I know people that run them, and they say they're great machines, and I don't doubt it. Another machine, the Sumitomo, I guess they're in a bit different category, I guess, but they're a great machine. The Sumitomo excavators, we actually had a 14-tonner out at the farm, and it was awesome, man. Like, I loved that machine. It was such a good machine, and we had a Cat 325 out there, zero swing, and this thing, brand new. This was a brand new 325 that we just ordered, and a hired-in 315 or something Sumitomo, and that Sumitomo was an awesome machine. Like, it wasn't. You didn't have all the fancy stuff in it and any of that, but it was just a good all-round machine. But I think that's going to be the biggest issue with introducing those Chinese machines and stuff. People, and the other thing is you get a lot of the talk around like, oh, fuck, that bloke runs Sanis or, something like that. And then people just jump on the bandwagon and like, oh, they're just a shit machine. Like, you've never driven them, and I've never driven them. I'm not going to have a comment on them because they're probably really good machines.
It's like, I think we've spoken about this with a few of the guests recently, and whether you apply that thinking to, consumer electronics or cars, like I've had Hiluxes my whole life. I've now got an Amarok. Love the Amarok. Don't think I'd even go back to a Hilux, to be completely honest. My wife has a Tesla. I cop endless banter from mates and clients, and I just say, I urge you to come and just have a drive in it. I love that thing. I zip around on the weekend in it. I don't know, man. I guess there's something for everyone, and that's why the market exists the way it does. But you've got to be loyal to what personal preference and what your operators obviously want. But there is a massive, increase in the particularly Sani, like online, and Jimmy Starbuck. Those guys are right behind them. They obviously have a place in the market, and people are loving them.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm completely open to it, and I'm probably going to have a heap of people slide into me LinkedIn DMs now from Sunny China or something.
Yeah, Chris CEO, mate, straight in there.
But no, honestly, like, I think the only thing would be holding me back is just the operator's side, because for me, it's a extremely smart business decision. I don't know what the pricing's like, but I'm assuming it's obviously a little bit cheaper to buy.
You'll know very soon in your LinkedIn DMs, I think.
Yeah, well, hit me up and let me know.
We'll slide on in.
But yeah, no, like, I guess in our space with plant hire, it's all going to come down to cost, because it's such a competitive market and your margins are so small. Like, I mean, some of them are like, you're running on like 1.5, 2%. Like, you're just scraping by, but it's just because the market's so competitive. And like, it's easy to say, from when I started, I slowly tried to build up the rates to get to where it needed to be. And I finally got them to a point, and then you have all these newcomers that come in, and, you got a lot of the people from down south and a lot of people from all over Australia coming up because they've got no work down there, and they're like, fuck, we need to keep this gear moving. They come up and they're just got these shit rates, and it just brings the whole market back down again. And then you got to rebuild it all the way back up. But like, I speak to Dad, and like, I'll ask him, I'll be like, man, what were the rates back in the day? And, we're talking 20, 30 years ago. They have not moved.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting paid for this equipment the same that you were 20, 30 years ago. But you're now paying, I haven't actually done the maths on it, but it would be a huge increase in labor costs, fuel costs. Like, I remember when I was a kid, like $1.20 was expensive for fuel. You're paying $2.20 now.
I used to pay 75 cents, 80 cents. I mean, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were 18.
But like, yeah,
Yeah, 75 cents.
everything's gone up, and the cost of living's just gone up. But I don't know if it's across the board in other industries, but I know in the plant hire space, it has just pretty much stayed the same.
I'm not I understand the basics of economics, but when you go to like Bali and like $10 AUD is like 100,000 rupiah. Is it? Are we going to be paying 100 grand for a loaf of bread one day? Is it going to stop? What happens?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
for all you economists out there, please tell me how stupid I am, or please enlighten us in the comments as to what's actually going to happen.
I would have no idea. I just moved dirt.
Yeah.
But no, I think when you're in this space, everyone tries to get the fancy gear and the best of the best, but realistically, we're probably not in a space to be picking and choosing what we operate.
Yeah.
Especially, a lot of these operators, what they don't understand, like a lot of people are working for plant hire companies. So we're very limited to the rate that we can pay people because we're limited. It depends on what we're getting for the machine. So, we'll have our rates that we charge, and that's obviously what we pay our guys on. But like I was saying to Brad as well, like the way the award system works for operators is so shit. It's like a 40-ton dump truck operator falls under the same award as a 40-ton excavator operator. You go and jump in a dump truck, you can drive one and be good at driving a dump truck, within
Back and forth,
6
up and
months,
down.
a year. You'll be a great Moxie operator. As long as you're willing to learn and have a go, you'll be like Moxie's a piece of piss. It's like driving a car. But then a digger, to be a good operator, and I mean not just be able to drive it, I mean know how to operate it. Like, my brother's a really good digger operator, and, he's been in them for, 12, 13 years. And, like, he's still learning every day. But that's, it's such like, how does that work? It's obviously a lack of knowledge on the, work, whoever figures out the awards. But they don't know the industry. Like, it goes off a tonnage. It goes, well, a 40-ton dump truck, well, yeah, they just get the same rate as a 40-ton excavator. Yeah. But obviously, if you're advertising for operators and you hit someone, a good digger driver with the rate that you pay your Moxie drivers, they're going to fucking laugh at you.
Yeah.
Because there is a big difference. That it takes a lot more skill, a lot more time. Like and all your good digger operators or dozer operators, they've started at the bottom. They haven't gone and got in a machine or a digger and just learned how to do it. So they've had the shit rates. Or they're not shit rates. That's the thing. Like, but like they've been on the Moxie rate, so they deserve to progress. But the award system doesn't reflect that.
I don't know. I guess that's probably one of many inconsistencies in Australia at the moment, really, across the board. But, it is hard. But yeah, the award system's a piss in the wind, to be honest, because no one, the award rates for operators, you're paying 3 times. Yeah.
If you want to actually get operators, you're paying way over what the award is.
Speaking of operators, we had a question come through last night. You may have seen on our story. It was a very last-minute thing. We threw the call for questions out to our audience. We got a few through. On Grade 140 asked, how important is social media presence in the construction industry, and are companies that neglect this getting left behind?
I don't think so now because so many people have adapted to it, and our business probably wouldn't come through social media as much. You need to have that presence there, 100%. And this, we're quite big on the social, and we always have been from when when we commenced. But
First started flying your drone?
Yeah. But I would say not as much now to actually get work. I don't think it's as much a tool that people are using as that, but it's a presence that needs to be there. Because, if you're not using it, or if you're not using it to get your name out there, or at the end of the day, you got to look at social media, I think, as a permanent billboard.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone's on their phones. You walk around, everyone's glued to their phones. So they're always going to, for me in the plant hire industry, or, if a construction manager or a foreman, they're on their phone. They see Roadside Civil popping up all the time. Well, who's the first person they're going to think of when they need, a D10 or a 40-ton Moxie? They're going to think, fuck, Roadside Civil. They just posted that the other day. So I think it's more so just having the presence there. I don't think it's, going to give you all this work.
There's some people that we've had on, like Tommy, Final Trim, and, the social space has evolved so rapidly over the last, say, 5 years, where now maybe the level of saturation, it's a necessity. Like Brad and I, this is what we do, so we're not going to downplay what we do for a job on here, but we both agree that relationships is the most important thing, truly, at the end of the day.
100%.
Socials are obviously very important as part of an omni-channel experience or brand validation piece, and you need to have good content to stand out. Well, look, you'll attest to that separately, because with the Earthmoving Downunder channel, you find your better performing content is the less edited stuff and the more long form
raw stuff. Yeah.
Before, like you film something on a phone and it goes viral and it's shaky or something like that, and you use it for like as you know, like $10,000 cinema cameras. I film something on that and you might get 2,000 likes or something like that. It's a weird thing. I don't know that. What is working for that stuff? But I think we're talking about, does it social presence work? Do you need to have it? A lot of stuff I'm doing is for people to find operators these days. It's not so much work. I think that's turned a lot.
We're working with a lot of clients on their talent acquisition and retention strategy. Like,
is that in all, like, obviously not just our space?
No, not just civils. Like, it's across. Like, we're focused on.
And I've heard that. Like, it's not just. It's just a skill shortage world. Like, Australia wide. Just for anything.
Like even in the dealing space, in other heavy industries that we work with, it's a lot of people are looking for ways to attract the right talent.
When do you think that changed? I guess you've been doing it, 7 years? So when do you think that, was it COVID that it changed?
Yeah, it was. And I think like let's look outside our industry for a second. Let's look at the hospitality industry, because I know a couple of people that were chefs, and like that probably got hit first, the hospitality space, because they were the first people that just flat lost their jobs. There was no like essential industry classification there, like pubs and clubs and everything just shut their doors. And all of a sudden these chefs, a whole market of people, had to go out into other parts of the world to find jobs. And I just think like across the board, and maybe I'm wrong, and if you're listening and you think I'm wrong, please tell me, but everyone's standards changed after COVID. People got used to working from home, and there was government handouts, and I just think something changed. People expected more. The economy changed. It was a huge flux across the world,
Yeah. I always think to myself, I don't know what changed.
In the last 24 months is where we've been working with clients more so, but when was that? 2019, COVID now, wasn't it? I don't know. I hope I never have to even hear the word again, to be honest. But
2020.
It's it is like people not caring, even like, as you know, I do clothing that as well, like in my merch sales. Like I had a bunch of shirts show up to a client with no logos on them, because I get print and demands done here in Brisbane. So they get sent out, and I rang Kelsey. I'm like, Kelsey, there's no logos on my shirts. She's like, oh, sorry. They must have got it in the office, the workshop, whatever. She says, I said, well, the minions at the back didn't do it. And she's trying to be all polite. I said, no, you don't have to be honest with me. Tell me. She goes, oh, yeah. They just don't care. None of it. She's going, she goes, nobody cares. She goes, they would have picked that up. They would put it in the box and send it out. Yeah. And it's not, she goes, we're having such a problem with workers. None of them care anymore. I said, it's not just you. It's everywhere. Like,
it makes you think, I don't know, is it just COVID, or is there a mix of different things?
Look, I'm going to say something on here from my personal perspective. Again, I had like a fairly major surgery 4 weeks ago, and for the first time in 7 or 8, maybe my whole career, I switched off, like properly switched off, had my phone off. And it was an opportunity for me to personally realise what mattered to me in life, what truly mattered. And maybe this is getting a bit down and out, but I saw a thing and it said, like, when you die, your whole life will boil down to like 500 words on a piece of paper, and everyone will eat the sandwiches at your wake, and then they'll go about their lives. And they'll think of you from time to time, and then one day you'll just be like a fleeting memory on anniversaries and things like that. And I use that as an opportunity, not to be negative, but to be positive and go, what really truly matters to me? I'm turning 40. Where do I want to be in life? So there are things that I intentionally don't care about now, but there's that. And then is it the younger generation? They just don't have the work ethic. They don't know.
I think that's a big
social media has a negative influence on them. And
I
they think,
so,
we
100%.
just should be an influencer or I don't know.
Not even that. You've got, like TikTok and stuff like that. Like you got the attention span's not there.
Yeah.
And I've seen videos on it where they actually look into it a bit more. But yeah, I think it is a lot to do with this younger generation. It goes back to what I said earlier, like the people that are, around my age or younger and you're willing to have a crack, like you will succeed. If you're serious about having a crack and giving everything you've got, do it, and I guarantee you will succeed because there's a very limited and a very short supply of people like that. And I think you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
You're either born with it or you're not. You're either born with that, just want to have a crack and, do great, or you're not. And, I don't think it can be taught.
No, I don't think so. But there's got to be, I've got to be really careful how I say this, but there's kind of like you see all these motivational quotes, you're either a sheep or a wolf. I'm not saying I'm a wolf, but there has to be sheep and there has to be wolves and there has to be people that do all different things in life. And some people just, my mate's a professional fisherman. I love fishing, but I couldn't do it for a job.
Yeah.
I couldn't be out there. It's all nice on a cracking morning when the sun's up, but when there's, huge seas and it's freezing and there's fish aren't biting, like it takes a certain kind of person for everything to be able to weather the good times and the bad.
Yeah, for
sure. And like anything, I think social media now makes everything look attractive because people just see the best part of everything.
It goes back to what I was saying too, with all the newcomers into the plant hire industry, a lot of people have seen what, someone like I've done or not someone else, there's a lot of people doing great things in this industry and I'm not scared to say that. It's a challenging industry and I love it. But yeah, it's a very social media effect. People look at Roadside and a lot of people probably didn't realize that I was behind it or, but people that did, they're thinking to themselves, well, how's he doing it when he's so young? I can do it. And it's a misconception because it's like, man, I've worked my ass off. I've sacrificed a lot of things and, I was built for it. Like, this is what I love doing and I don't mind missing out on other things to pursue this.
Yeah.
But some people just aren't built like that. And like you said, like you got, people that work at zoos with crocodiles. I couldn't do that. No. Like people are just built for different things.
A lot of people say to us, you guys do the same stuff. Like they say a house painter's house is never painted. My socials are very infrequent and we're not even really that clear about what we do. A lot of people in the market just think we do videos because we do a good reel for someone and I post it up on my own socials and I think that's a cool video. But like a conception, like when I see your stuff, man, you work your ass off. Like you travel a lot, you get around. And I don't think people realize like in our space, and there's other guys in our space that do it too, how much actually goes into it. Like I'm going on record to say this now. People are about to see a repositioning in Ambrosia Industrial in the next 8 or so weeks. Like we're pulling back from content. I don't want to do it anymore. It's too hard. I don't want to travel. I'm sick of travel, man. I'm sick of not, like I'm just done personally.
It is a very, and it goes for everyone, no one knows what someone's going through or what someone's doing behind the scenes. And it goes back to what I said with, a lot of people look at the boss of something, they don't realize what goes into things. And it's easy. Like I look at you boys and I don't understand what you guys go through. I don't understand, the early mornings that you got to be out at site and, like I don't see that because I'm not in that space.
You went down to Boysdale what was it? It's Tuesday or whatever down with HRV. It was 2 degrees. I couldn't even use my camera.
But that's like people don't see that. People see all the fancy reels and stuff and they think, fuck, this guy's living the dream. He's sitting at home editing it up and, like...
I would say off topic. It does your head in, really.
I saw this quote and it's like, we are the generation that lives for like Instagrammable moments, that every moment we experience is already looked at through the lens of that this will be a good moment on Instagram down the track, and that, whether it be like people at a concert watching it through their phone, everything's so hyper curated. And I guess like circling back to my comments before about when you're sort of laying in bed, the surgery I had, people have died having it, and the surgeon I had has killed someone doing it. And there was a moment where I was getting wheeled into the operating theatre, and I looked around and I thought, this could be the last thing I ever see on earth. And I've never really like questioned my mortality before or anything like that, but it was a big wake up call for me. And I've personally just started to try to stop living through socials as much. Like one thing, you know, I am going to go here, but I'm at the moment, we manage so many socials. I'm sick of opening Ambrosia Industrial's Instagram. It's just this bullshit AI echo chamber. And whether I don't even go on LinkedIn at the moment. I saw a stat published from LinkedIn, and now they've got a tool in place to try and report it. But over 40% of content on LinkedIn is just AI shit.
I nearly put a post up at the gym this morning about it. I was going
You know,
to say, like your credibility as a person, because LinkedIn's full of wankers anyway. Like some of the people that are on LinkedIn, mate, geez. Like,
my goal in life is to delete LinkedIn. Like I need it for work, and I know this sounds really unprofessional because we do develop strategies for people where LinkedIn is a tool, and when you use it the right way, very powerful tool. Access to where people go to buy and make decisions, where the key decision makers are when they sit down at night too. And maybe not all of them. I saw your eyes sort of drift off there, but like me personally, man, like it's one thing. I'm a graphic designer by trade. That's how I begun my whole career. If I see another AI poster or that font, if you're out there using AI icons and posters, it's just like it's got to stop. The thing that bothers me more than anything is tone of voice. Like part of your brand is your tone of voice. If every single person is using, like AI is a very powerful tool. It can help do the work of a copywriter and get through the writing. But if you are using AI to just copy and paste these captions, power and precision, this, then this, then this, like the flow, your tone of voice is such a powerful part of your brand, not just the aesthetic part of it. If everyone's tone of voice is the same, everyone's the same, and it's just I'm done. And then you look at the positives and go, well, hey, well, it's kind of cool because people like you guys will always stand out, or maybe there'll be this big mass reckoning where people will all get the shits all at once, or maybe I'm being so pedantic because I'm passionate about it. But coupled with my recent life experiences, it's making it really hard to get excited about going onto socials in the heavy industry at the moment.
It's exhausting. I watch a lot of YouTube, I guess. Watched a doco about it the other day. They reckon now is a better time than ever to separate yourself from AI and who's real. Because people are watching posts and everything like that. People want someone to trust. Trust is a big thing in a relationship. And they can't, they're seeing these things that aren't real. Their brain can't, so they don't trust them. So they reckon if you can position yourself in a line of business now so people know you're real, that's why they reckon put up more stories and stuff like that. And even though I hate putting up stories, but show that you're a real brand, you're a real person. Yeah. People, they reckon it's going to be a downfall of people using AI.
Mate, the second I identify that just bullshit 3-phase slogan, or I see the words power and precision, it's even moved past that M dash now.
The worst thing.
I don't want to buy. I'm going, you know what, out of principle, I've got no time for you, man.
What are the other words that they use, some of those people, when they're talking about machine stats and stuff? What do they use?
One of the phrases that gets me is like,
there's some
like this is podcasting, power and precision, unhinged conversation,
but there's other
not
ones.
manicured conversation, organic conversation, like the not this, three, like just that prose, that paraphrasing.
There's other ones like when people are talking about machine specs and stuff, like we're talking about them, like they use ChatGPT. What are some of the ones those people use?
I don't know. I've tuned out so hard I don't even want to think.
The worst part is when people are looking for operators or something, they do the flyer.
Oh yeah, that's
like the.
And you
that's bad.
It
That's
hurts my soul, man.
That's
like honestly, it hurts my soul.
It looks so bad.
You should see, like, on saying that, because obviously you make it all yours and you've actually used the photos that I've taken. Like how much yours now
it just
stand
looks,
out.
You look
compared to this junk that they're doing. And Jackson makes his own. You scroll through, if you see these AI ones, because they're nearly blurry, it's nearly muddy. Yeah. Then you see yours, it's professionally done.
They look professional.
Yeah.
Like
it makes the
Chalk and
professional
cheese,
stuff
it's-
look so much more professional all of a sudden. Like it's
Yeah.
really standing
It
out.
does, and that's why I try and look at the positives. I'm just having a break at the moment. As I said, we're about to reposition, so we're just intentionally not posting anything. We've got a bit of a change coming, but I don't know, man. I value individuality in life, and I think like your branding, even the name, like you said at the beginning, Roadside, like you wondered if it was the right thing, if we were joking about traffic control, whatever.
Yeah, no, well,
But it's unique and it's different, and you know, I just think if
Well, I
everyone
remember,
looks
like,
the
even
same,
you know, a lot of that money that I sold the car for went a lot into the logo making, and it was actually done by some mob down at Burleigh, and you know, it was like $6,000 or something, man, to literally probably more. I think it was ended up being more, but to get all the branding, and you know, we picked out every single color. People now, like all these new guys, are just going straight on to ChatGPT, make me a logo for my business, and you can tell, like it just, you know, and yeah, it definitely sticks. You can tell when it's been professionally done and just put through ChatGPT or any of those AI tools.
we always are like, so on the surface level, there's how we feel about it as professionals in the space, and you know, you're running a plan hire business, and you even are pissed off by it. So
Yeah,
it looks shit. But
It's shocking, man. Like it honestly is. I go on Facebook and I see it. I send them to Brad. And I'll be like, what the fuck?
It's representation of your business, and like I guess at the start someone started, but this flyer one that everyone's
The-
commenting-
the
that's
flyer's
bad.
got to go.
I don't
see.
know
It has
how
to go.
people haven't clued on and gone, what am I
Mate.
doing?
I saw a meme the other day, and it was like, if your event has an AI flyer, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
I'm not coming. and that's
They
how
look
I
so
feel,
bad.
man.
They don't look good.
I'm on a mass unfollow like mission at the moment. I don't know, man. I know you've got to look at the flip side of that.
You
There's-
seen the light, man. When you had your surgery, you really just
I did, man. I saw this glow. And
did
it
you
was
have a
just
vision
like,
like you
fuck AI.
and you
Like, that was
realized,
my
man,
vision.
this is life is crazy.
Oh man, you know, like I come out and I'm not religious at all. Like I believe in something. I had to go through the Catholic school system, so I had to test that structured sort of setup. However, like there's something out there, and imagine if we got to the end of all our adventuring and it was AI. We were just part. No, I don't know, man. I did see the
how
light.
far
I
is
just
AI going to go as well? I
well,
don't know.
you've seen
I think-
Terminator.
yeah. Look, AI definitely has its benefits. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong.
No,
But, I mean, making your flyers, that's not it.
Mate, the flip side is there are people out there that don't have the budget, or they don't have the know-how or the access to guys like us to help do that. I don't even know where to start. And I think it's amazing that there are people that can go out and at least throw a video together or throw something together, or a logo. But the question I have for you, if you're listening and you're doing that, is what's the long-term harm that you're doing to your brand? Because your brand is, as I mentioned, it's more than just how it looks, it's how it feels. It's your brand is what your brand used to be, what you tell people you are and what you do. But your brand truly is what other people tell other people who you are and what you do and what they think about you. And every single touch point of your presence online or above the line, offline, shapes that
It's a psychology.
perception. And I just think the question I ask you is, yes, it's convenient now. This isn't a sell at all. It's like how it's not. I know it seems like I'm setting up for a sell. Come and visit ambrosiaindustrial.com.au. It's
Pop
not.
on the side of the
It's like you're actually damaging your brand, because we're going to move. Like we look back. I said I wasn't going to say the word again, but COVID. Look back at some of the dumb shit we did then, and the masks and the elbow bumping and all that shit. And you go, I'm disgusted by it, and I think people are going to be disgusted by some of the things that are happening now in the marketing and branding space.
It's gotta go.
Anyway, we're here to talk about.
Yeah. No, but, I mean, that is definitely something. I needed to get that out. The flyers need to stop.
Yeah. Oh,
That
mate,
really needs to stop.
I just don't care. We talk about people that don't care. Like, I don't care, but in a good way. Like, I couldn't give a fuck anymore, and I don't want to work with people that want that shit.
Yeah, I guess everyone's always looking for the cheapest option. It's always
But that's
so,
that's
and
what
the
it's- that's
easiest
what it's
people look
showing.
at.
It's showing that they're like it looks cheap dramatically.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And it's the same. It's it's just how it works in every industry. You pay for what you get.
Tell you what, though, I was at the casino truck show on Friday.
How was it?
Man, it was pretty cool.
They
We-
looked like I actually had a few mates go. And
We had to leave. I had to come Saturday. I had a really important engagement. I had to watch the Newcastle Knights get up at Brisbane, at Suncorp on Saturday night. So I wasn't around for Saturday, which was unfortunate because I missed Angus from A&A Asphalt's truck rolling in. I'm really spewing I missed that. But like when you see, I know they're show trucks and it's a truck show, but the effort that goes into like airbrushing the trucks and the every logo is unique and designed by like a sign writer at some point in time, and it looks so good. Like I saw Tommy from Ace Haulage, I was there, and I didn't realise all the little decorative elements on their trailers were hand painted, and I saw a guy there in action doing it. And I think like the trucking industry is one industry that is still really dedicated to the visual craft element of branding and image.
I love the trucks.
Imagine if you guys moved down that
would be
route,
cool.
just fully hand
I actually looked at
painted
it.
signs.
I looked at even doing like the scrolls and stuff on a dozer or something. That would be pretty cool.
But what is it viable? Because like there's so much wear and tear. Like
honestly, that's the problem is like it's getting to the point where nothing's really viable. Nothing extra. It's like what you buy the machine for. It's like, man, just keep it. Whatever's going to be cheapest to put it together.
That's what, like, in the trucking world, I see some of these trucks and I just think, you've probably had this thought or this conversation over time. Like one of my mentors in life had a real smick watch and he'd never wear it to meetings or anything because he didn't want people to think he's earning too much money. I've got clients that intentionally drive another car to site rather than like a big jacked up ute, or they've sold that big jacked up ute because of the people just go, you're making too much money.
Well, like I got a Ram, man. And like everyone automatically just thinks, oh fuck, he's making too much.
What do you got,
money.
like 20 spinners on it? And
nah,
because you rock up the Gucci's and the white tee as well.
Yeah, well,
you got to have nice things in life. Like I have my,
but not even that. Like there's all business benefits to doing things like that.
100%,
right? So I think people don't see that; they just automatically think, yeah, you're making too much money. But there's business benefits to it. And, the other thing is there's personal benefits to it. Yeah, I worked my ass off like that. That's my dream car, No one's happy for anyone anymore,
it's this tall poppy stray thing we talk about nearly on every episode. It's getting out of control here.
Well, and I see it a lot, and I hate the victim mindset. But I always have people, daddy's money. Or, like I, especially, being and doing what I've done at a young age. And don't get me wrong, credit, I'll give credit where credit's due. My family, do a lot now. So my brother's a part of the business now. So that's great. And dad did a shitload for me at the start too. But, there wasn't like money or anything like that. But the knowledge that come from him, he knows so much, and to have him in my life and be able to mentor me, I did have a head start there because
he didn't like throw you the keys to the yard and plug your zero into his and go, there you go.
Nah, none of that. It wasn't, and he can speak for it too. There wasn't money or anything, but his knowledge, I guess that's priceless. So yeah, I guess I did get a head start in that way. The knowledge he had, and just. I guess the connection, he had a few connections too that have helped me out. So, but, I see it all the time. It's not, I think I've probably had maybe one or two people actually come up to me and say, man, good on you. Like, you've fucking had a crack. Good on you. Like, you've done all this fucking good shit, I've had some of my best mates, that I'm not mates with anymore that, showed their jealous side. Like, it's just like that they don't, the only person in my life that has actually probably wanted me to do better than them was dad.
Well, that's like, again, I'm not a father yet, but I see.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I want to have a kid, but I'm not. There's no expose. Yeah. But like that's I see things online and I read books. I read a lot, and like I saw a thing the other day, and it was just like every father's like ultimate goal should be that their kid goes better than them and supersedes them.
And I've seen that too, and I guess that made me realize, like, I was like, holy shit, that is so true. And you always see things on social media, and you're always gonna look at it more when you relate to it.
Yeah.
But that is 100%. Like for my situation, like I've had some of my best mates, say, or not say to me, but you hear things, and it's always like he's changed or something like that, or yeah.
I don't think a lot of these people realize how much debt is attached to success. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like they see all this success and these doing that, but each month the amount of money that comes out of some of these, like some mutual friends that me and you have got as well, and the amount of money that comes out of their bank.
As money.
Yeah, but even social debt as well, and
exactly.
It's funny, like
debt. The amount of time that you got to take away from your family to be able to do things like this.
Yeah.
Like I got a fiance now, and she's adapted to my life and realized like he is gonna go hard and he's not gonna always have time for me. But like there's that's I don't there's dinners that I can't go out with my fiance because I got shit to do.
Yeah.
So debt doesn't even go as far as money, I guess. But people don't understand that part of it. There's a huge cost money wise, but there's also a cost in other areas as well where and it comes back to what I said, sacrifice.
Because it's the old saying, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
100%.
It's not.
Well, I think people have started to think it's easy, and you're going to see them come out in the wash. I think because it's not.
A lot of these operators on big dollars think it's easy.
Well, I think like in closing, it sounds very like esoteric, but life is hard. People say life's short, but it's the longest thing we're ever going to know. And I don't know, man, get in and have a crack. I think that's really the best way to do it. And also, like, probably stop living off social media so much. Like, it's not real, half of it, guys. So come on.
It's not. And I guess everything's highlight reels for everyone.
Yep.
It's like you look at the Roadside Instagram, you're going to see all the highlights. You're going to see all the great jobs we did, not the job that we lost, money on, or
Boys didn't show up on the Monday.
You could flip the script. You guys could just start showing shit moments.
Well, that's what I've started doing with. That's what I've started.
But
doing
only shit moments.
Started doing that with capital equipment stuff and like breakdowns and stuff like that, and it's working really well because people don't get to see that, and it's real. So
we all solve problems. You solve problems. I solve problems. You solve problems. I think it's all good to show the negative, but you got to show how you're solving problems. You don't want to promote yourself as the fuck ups, and But no, I think it's just about being real, and that's what I love about real, and I love about the socials. And like we live in a health focused modern day and age. But if Will wants to smoke, he's an adult, and if he wants to smoke on his socials, Instagram don't have a policy about that yet. So,
I used to love smokes. When I was an operator, I actually, no joke, I used to smoke a pack of 30 Winfield Blues a day. A day.
How's your breath hold now?
Oh, pretty bad.
Yeah,
that made me shiver. Thinking about smoking a pack of ciggies.
When I was younger, I used to have
30s, and that was when I started Roadside. And I was actually at a job at Swanbank, and everyone out there was smoking. Like that was the problem. Everyone was smoking, and I guess just the stress. Like I was just puffing them in, chain smoking, 30 pack of Winfield Blues a day.
But even drinking as well, like I can't really drink at the moment. I'm not a big drinker. Whenever I go to like medical appointments at the moment, they're like, how much do you drink? And I'm like how many a week? I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
But then but if it's a wedding or a funeral or a birthday, I'll have 1,000. But I'm not just sitting at home on a Tuesday having 3 craft beers or anything.
No, I'm the same.
And I just think I saw like Bolter, behind that wall right there is Bolter Brewery. If you punch through there, we're in their brewing factory. And I even saw, because they're owned by Asahi now. So the Carlton United bought Bolter and Asahi bought Carlton United. And just the overall alcohol sales that are just down in Australia, and I guess you could attribute that to higher cost of living. People trying to save money where they can, don't have such just a budget to be able to metaphorically and literally piss up the wall. But I think maybe just the next generation's perception of drinking. Like smoking was first, less people smoke now.
Well, you got everyone vaping now,
as well, yeah. But then I don't know. I just feel like I saw that there's a trend occurring at the moment with less people been drinking.
Yeah, right.
But you were talking about when fuel changed. I still remember I worked at the South West Rocks Country Club behind the bar, and all the old blokes, the members, blowing up when schooner price surpassed $3 for members. It was like an uproar across the board. But now it's ridiculous. I saw like Australia has the most expensive pints in.
No, I paid $9 on Fairly Day.
Well, I can tell you now that at the casino truck show, I went and had a counter lunch, and I had a Hun 3.5 as per doctor's orders, 2 drink limit, and I was buying around. It was 2 for $15. That was great. Like that's about how much a schooner is here at the Gold Coast. So anyway,
it is expensive.
Tackling all the big issues in life. Hey, thanks for the chat. Love some of your thoughts. There's probably I'm enjoying being able to be even more unfiltered on this platform, and really appreciate the insights. You've done a lot in such a short period of time. It's really exciting to see where you guys are going to go, and some of the tech stuff you showed me earlier. Really excited to see where that's going to go. I guess we normally do this 5 quick ones thing at the end, but I just got one question for you. If there's someone in a ute right now listening to this episode, what advice would you give them thinking about starting their own business in this space?
I think I've said it pretty much the whole chat that we've had, but just have a fucking crack. Honestly, like, I think if you're thinking about it, have a crack. And what do you have to lose? I guess you can always go back to what you're going to do. Like I said as well, though, some people are built for it. If you're honestly built, if you're ready to put everything into it, and you're willing to make those sacrifices, and the sacrifices don't end, you're willing to put absolutely everything into what you want to do, or what your plan is, have a crack and just do it. You know, like you'll succeed if you're prepared to give it 100%.
Show up early too.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah,
for free.
Yeah, for free. That's definitely something that.
Don't be scared to. Definitely.
No.
It's not going to
be willing to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
You know, and that's in anything you do. Whether you're an operator to running a business, just go above and beyond. Like you said, we have one life. Why not have a solid crack at it?
Mm-hmm.
In just everything that you do, have a go at it. Whether you're an operator, whether you're a podcaster or whatever, just have a go. Give it all, give it everything you got. That's definitely something I think lacks. People don't have passion for things anymore.
No,
especially in this industry. They're very much dictated by what everyone says. There's so much money in the industry and stuff like that. Do it without the money.
It's going to be interesting. Like, I don't know, I just feel people are disillusioned in general with like the macroeconomic environment. It'd be interesting to see what happens at the next election and see if the world feels like it changes. Because I don't know, man, I'm disillusioned at every turn at the moment, personally. But
I've got to grab my Hanson coming in, mate. I'm going to go vote for the first time. I don't vote ever. I just pay the fine. I'm going to vote for Pauline.
Yeah, I only had to vote.
That's probably going to cause
I was never
reaction.
Registered to it, but anyway.
No, I never do. I'm coming out of the woodwork. I'm going to vote for Pauline. I'm calling it right now.
I thought you were going to say the closet. Look, Brad, thanks for coming on Dirt and All.
You're welcome, mate.
And Jackson, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.